Yeah, okay, fine. What's up, people? How you doing? My name is Tim Black. Welcome to the Tim Black Show special edition on a Saturday, right? Make sure I got the day right. Brother be working. He forget what day it is. It's Saturday, and you're tuned in now. I plan to do this on Sunday, but I guess I'm going to wait and do another show on Sunday. Sunday is going to be during the day I'm going to cover Donald Trump's press conference. So today, on this special edition of the Tim Black Show, we're going to cover Kamala Harris's recent economic agenda speech that she gave, and we're going to go over it, the full speech. And that's going to, we're going to pause it. We're going to make comments. We're going to interact with the chat. We're going to discuss it. We're going to mull over it. You know what I'm saying? And kind of have a better understanding of what's actually on the table here with Kamala Harris. I think it's important that if we're going to be talking about her, from my perspective, right? If I'm going to be doing shows talking about the elections, if I'm going to be discussing these issues, and I am, and I do it every election. Didn't start this election or even the last one. So like 4 or 5 elections ago, we started doing this. So it's only fair to go over her economic agenda. And that's also not just for her or for her campaign, but more so for the viewers. So viewers have an opportunity to digest and not just listen to corporate media, because they're going over it. So that's what we're going to do, fam. I want to say what's up to my people in the comments section who were able to come through at this impromptu time. What's up, Johnny Ware? How you doing, fam? Yes. And Tasha Peters is in the house. What's up, Tasha? How you doing, Tasha? Beyond the Bottom Line, Black Rock Agenda. What's up, people? What's up? What's up? Calvin Dickerson made it as well. Johnny Ware made it. either that's AI Tim or younger Tim. Yeah, that is a younger AI Tim in that thing. Yeah, that is. That's how long I've been doing the show, though, fam. You know what I'm saying? That's how long I've been doing it here. It's been over a decade, dog. Been like since 2012. Good afternoon, everybody. What's up? Mower Mama No Mower Man 1. Mower Man. Okay, somebody's doing some landscaping, some artistry. Right? So that's what's up. Maddie is over here tripping. Maddie. All right, Maddie, I see you. What's up, Star? There it is, Floor J in the house. So we're starting off hot already. Jamila, what's up? Like these afternoon streams, Johnson. That's what's up. I'm glad. Tasha's always in the house. Well, it's good to see you, Tasha. It's been a minute. Thank you. Welcome back, sis. Benjamin, good afternoon from Ben and Rocky. That's what's up. Tyrone, what's up, man? South Carolina present and accounted for, B1. That's what it is. All right, guys, so let's get off into it. Let's do it, man. Everyone's accounted for, man. We ain't many, but be plenty, and I'm glad you showed up. No one's expecting this, but we're going to do it anyway. Let's get it on the books. So here goes Kamala Harris. Let's get her kicked off. The Kamala Harris event in Raleigh, North Carolina. Vice President Kamala Harris. Is that playing? They got a little lead on this little video clip. Let's see. Oh, yeah, they probably just wanted to show her likeness for a minute. Let's see. When do they actually start?
Roy Cooper, where?
Oh, they kept that up there for a minute. Okay, so she doesn't start until. Goodness gracious. She got other people talking?
Doing? It's great to see all these people all these people who are here to hear me talk, so I appreciate that. That's all right. So my name is Mike De Los Santos, the owner of Mike D's Barbecue, a small community restaurant and barbecue shop in East Durham.
Okay. Good way to start.
I'm a husband, a proud father, and I'm here today to talk about what's at stake for our families and our communities in this upcoming election, and what is possible if we elect Vice President Kamala Harris. As parents, we're always thinking about the future and we want a world where our children can thrive. Raising a family is hard work, and working hard is hard work. Doing both can feel impossible, and we need leaders that understand that, and that's why electing Kamala Harris is so important. Vice President Harris is standing up for families and fighting to lower costs, just like she has done her entire career. She sees what folks are going through, like the families in my community who are struggling to pay bills, stretching a budget to afford groceries, scrambling to afford medication to live. Access to affordable health care is personal to my family. In 2012, our son Aaron passed away after bravely battling hypoplastic left heart syndrome. That's why it means so much to me that the Vice President is working to make sure everyone can get access to the care they need. No matter what their income is. She's working to lower prescription drug costs, which make a huge difference for people across this country and North Carolina. At Mike D's, we're all about community. From our customers to the folks on staff who came in early today so I could be here, come by at 4 o'clock for dinner. But as housing costs rise, it's getting harder and harder for our community to thrive. And though I love what I do, it's hard to build a business and work hard in a city that sometimes you can't even afford to live in yourself, especially when you're working hard to make sure that your employees make a living wage. I've seen how important it is to have leaders who are fighting for people like us, and I've seen the damage that occurs when leaders put their own interests ahead of our families. Amid the grief of losing our child, we opened Mike D's in 2013 as a barbecue sauce company. During the pandemic, we had to pivot as things shut down, and we've expanded to the restaurant that we are in now. We saw the way that Trump left small business owners behind. We know that he'll only work to make the rich richer, even at our expense, if given another chance. On the other hand, Vice President Harris has made it a priority to help small business access the capital they need to get started and to grow. It's very important. I'm here today because we have a choice for ourselves and our children, for businesses and the communities we invest in. Vice President Harris will always fight for working families like mine. We can and will elect Vice President Harris and Governor Tim Walz.
Okay, so one of the problems I had with this man's speech, and first of all, shout out to the brother, man, and my condolences to him and his family for the grief, man. I can actually relate. It was once upon a time I would be able to say I can't imagine what it would feel like to lose a child, but I'm of that same team. So I understand what that is. I understand the pain in that. So I wish him and his family much prosperity, and I hope that things work out with the restaurant. I do have to make a comment, though, regarding if you haven't been unveiled a political or an economic agenda yet, she's about to deliver it, you're making some statements about an economic agenda that you don't know exists. We cannot, you cannot, none of us can. It would be prohibitive for us to assume great things out of people. We are consumers. When we go to purchase an item, we're always taking a risk when we purchase an item, unless we've owned it before. And sometimes it's not, the workmanship from that same item may have changed, may have gotten different parts. You ever bought something and then you go to replenish it and you find out it's not exactly the same manufacturer of the last one? Maybe they've cut costs, used cheaper materials. Maybe they thought they were upgrading the product and now it doesn't function as it used to. So I have to bone to pick with the statement that, it seems like there's some assumptions going on about how great economically Kamala Harris will be for you when she has never been president before. At least the Trump comments, he's actually been president before. So you can kind of glean some type of, what it would be like under Trump. But to say that you have any idea at all, the foggiest idea of how things would function under Kamala Harris, even an economic agenda is just an agenda, and agendas change. You go to the club just to have a good time, and then you meet the love of your life, and all of a sudden, your agenda's changed. You go to your club to have a good time and some brothers meet you outside, and now your agenda is to get home in one piece and not die that night. Your agenda has changed. All of a sudden, dancing on the dance floor is not that important. So I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to let it keep going, but I just want to point it out. We don't want to have this type of mentality as this brother, where we are prejudging and giving undue optimism. We are consumers of this. We are purchasing. We are hiring. We are all hiring managers of Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. And also what's on the shelf is also Donald J. Trump and J.D. Vance, Dr. Cornel West and Dr. Melina Abdullah, Dr. Jill Stein and her running mate, RFK Jr. and another person, and there's also Claudia De La Cruz and her running mate as well. So we have an agenda. We have various agendas, and there's more on the menu. Let's not pretend to assume, or let's not continue to assume what this is going to be. All right, let's keep going.
It is my honor to introduce the next President of the United States, Kamala Harris.
I gotta cut the music, guys. I gotta cut the music because it gets flagged by YouTube. Yeah, had to cut the music because it's flagged by YouTube. She's got a license to play it, we don't.
Hello, family and friends. Oh, it's good to be back in North Carolina. Oh, it's good to see everyone. Oh, it's good to see everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Please have a seat if you have a seat. Please have a seat. Mike D, so Mike D's Barbecue, let me tell you one of the biggest fans of Mike D's Barbecue. My husband dug him off. And thank you, Mike, for sharing your story. And I'm just so sorry for what your family has been through, but you have, out of an incredible tragedy, done so much for the community, and you are such a role model. So thank you, Mike, for everything you do. Thank you. And good afternoon to everyone here. Thank you to all of the incredible leaders with us today, including my friend, the Governor, Roy Cooper. Where is he? Here with his daughter. Every time I land in North Carolina, I'm just literally coming down the stairs of Air Force Two, I will shout to Roy Cooper, "What number is it, Roy?" And today he shouted 16, which is the number of times I've been in this beautiful state since I've been vice president. Every time. I want to thank your next governor, Attorney General Josh Stein. He's doing incredible work. He's going to be an extraordinary governor. Representatives Adam, Manning, Foushee, and Nickel, thank you all for your support, for your friendship, for your leadership. Chair Thomas of the Wake County Board of Commissioners, thank you for all that you do. And to all the leaders that are here today, including the students and instructors here at Wake Tech North. Thank you. Thank you. So thank you all. So listen, this election, I do strongly believe, is about two very different visions for our nation. One, ours, focused on the future, and the other, focused on the past. We see that contrast clearly in many ways, including when it comes to how we think about the economy. So our country has come a long way since President Biden and I took office. At that time, we sadly remember the millions of Americans that were out of work. We were facing one of the worst economic crises in modern history. And today, by virtually every measure, our economy is the strongest in the world. We have created 16 million new jobs. We've made historic investments in infrastructure, in chips manufacturing, in clean energy.
How many people work at these new chips jobs? Give me a one up if you've been hired at one of these new chip jobs. I keep hearing about. Every time I heard Joe Biden give a speech in the last 2 years, every time she gives a speech, she brings up chips. And I don't even like Sun Chips. So I'm just wondering, somebody give me a one up if you've been hired. Hell, I'll go further. If anyone in your family that you know of has been given one of these jobs working on these computer chips, not potato chips. You know, I also have to inform my audience that when they talk about creating new jobs, what they're really talking about is jobs reopened. A large amount of the jobs that they say they created are just jobs that opened back up. The pandemic, a lot of businesses were shut. It's not a new job if it existed before the pandemic, and then after the pandemic, well, we know it's not really over. It's never, ever going to be over. We just find a way to live with it, like Chris Rock said. And find a way for you to live with the disease, with the condition. What I'm saying is, you know, if you get kicked out your house and then you come back to your house because she took you back or he took you back, is it a new house? I mean, Jesus Johnson, they didn't even change locks. So this is the type of trickery that's going on. A lot of people just fall for it. I don't hear people correcting it in mainstream media. And damn it, if you're watching the Tim Black Show, we're going to tell the truth. Now, we all know Donald Trump will probably do the same thing. But for the record, just getting things started, we're not going to sit here and constantly go, but over there, because we're doing Trump tomorrow. Today, we critiquing Kamala Harris. So in the comment section, if you keep on, if no one's doing it now, I'm just saying, I'm doing the moderating and I'm much more stringent than Buck. Because I take it more personal. So anyway, let's keep going. But please put that in your mental Rolodex, put it in your hard drive, download that sucker, store it offline so it's unhackable. When they say new jobs, they are also including jobs that came back from companies that are not new. They shut the doors because they were forced to shut their doors. And if they were able to reopen their doors, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are counting that as a new job. I don't think it's a new job, Johnson. You go back to your husband after y'all was separated. He ain't a new husband. That's the same husband you had. You ain't got no new paperwork to fill out. Cut the cap.
And new numbers this week alone show that inflation is down under 3%. And as President of the United States, it will be my intention to build on the foundation of this progress. Still, we know that many Americans don't yet feel that progress in their daily lives.
Oops. Yeah, I was wondering when you're going to come back to that. I was going to hit you for making the statement that everything's great. If everything was great, you know what? The strongest economy in the world, why do we got so many homeless people? Why do we got so many people living paycheck to paycheck? 40% of Americans can't afford a $400 emergency. And we got this sister sitting up there saying, we have this woman sitting up here saying, we got the best economy in the world. Same shit every other president says. I'm looking for differences. Since I got to hear everybody from Ricky Smiley to D.L. Hughley to Joy Reid to Bakari Sellers come out and tell me how bad a black person I am if I don't support Kamala Harris. I'm looking to see what's different about this woman who's running. Right now, she sounds like every other president who's ever ran for office. I don't see no difference.
Costs are still too high. And on a deeper level, for too many people, no matter how much they work, it feels so hard to just be able to get ahead. As president, I will be laser focused on creating opportunities for the middle class that advance their economic security, stability, and dignity. Together, we will build what I call an opportunity economy. An opportunity economy. An economy where everyone can compete and have a real chance to succeed. Everyone, regardless of who they are or where they start, has an opportunity to build wealth for themselves and their children.
Oh,
and where we remove the barriers to opportunity so anyone who wants to start a business or advance their career can access the tools and the resources that are necessary to do so. I will focus on cutting needless bureaucracy and unnecessary regulatory red tape and encouraging innovative technologies while protecting consumers. And
folks, I know this is going to be, I already see what kind of speech this is going to be. And I'm going to tell you right now, guys, this is going to be one of them speeches I'm going to have to stop her a lot because I can't let her go lying or let her go blustering on my channel and you watching it and people be saying, Tim Black, let her say that stuff. And I didn't challenge it. So I hate to tell you, but I have to stop her a lot. Guys, if you're new to this channel, we cover U.S. politics on this channel. We also cover Black culture. I consider myself, and I stand in the gap. I am a working class fighter. I fight for working class people. I saw Sam Khaleesi in the comment section. Shout out to Mud and the rest of the Reset Race crew. What he coined the phrase, the working class and the hurting class. So that's what I stand up for. And I got to say this. When she says everyone can compete, what's she talking about? Because we all know that people come with different strengths, right? So speaking from the hurting class of Black folks who come from a situation in family where you don't have money, where you don't have the access to resources, we are limping. And then other people show up and they got 2 good legs. Some of us show up with no legs. So how are you going to make it so people that are disadvantaged, that come from backgrounds who don't have a grandmother they could go to get money, how are they going to compete? And don't just say you're leaving it up to the SBA, because I got something for that too. As it stands, ladies and gentlemen, Black Americans get less than 2% of SBA loans. So if she's going to say we're going to put this money in the SBAs and it's got all this money that's going to give out, up to this point, we only get 2% of it because behind that SBA loan, there are people making decisions. And for some reason, when we leave it up to people to make the decisions, we end up getting less than everybody else. So I need her to be more specific in how we all gonna compete. Because just competing is, hey dog, you want me to line up next to Usain Bolt? What about you ladies? You want to line up next to Sha'Carri Richardson? I mean, you competing. What shots you got? She fast as hell. So yeah, we gonna all compete. And you gonna wobble your over 60-pound overweight ass, untrained ass. Is only thing you know how to run is to the bathroom and to the refrigerator against Sha'Carri Richardson. You ain't got a shot in hell. So when you say compete, you gotta be explicit what that means. And see, I got a feeling that people, when they cover this, they ain't cover it. I mean, they covered it, but they ain't cover it. I'm going to try not to stop it every 2 seconds, but Jesus Christ, I'm going to be doing more talking than her because she's going to be up here saying all types of nonsense. Flowery words. Everyone can compete.
Creating a stable business environment with consistent and transparent rules of the road. As president, I will bring together labor with small businesses and major companies to invest in America, to create good jobs, achieve broad-based growth, and ensure that America continues to define the future and lead the world. And key to creating this opportunity economy is building up our middle class. It is essential. The middle class is one of America's greatest strengths. And to protect it, then, we must defend basic principles, such as your salary should be enough to provide you and your family with a good quality of life. Such as no child should have to grow up in poverty. Such as after years of hard work, you should be able to retire with dignity. And you should be able to join a union if you choose. Building up the middle class will be a defining goal of my presidency, because I strongly believe when the middle class is strong, America is strong. So in the weeks to come, I will address in greater detail my plans to build an opportunity economy. And today, I will focus on one element that's on the minds of many Americans as they pay their bills at the kitchen table or walk the aisles of a grocery store. And that is lowering the cost of living. So every day across our nation, families talk about their plans for the future, their ambitions, their aspirations for themselves, for their children. And they talk about how they're going to be able to actually achieve them financially. Because look, the bills add up. Food, rent, gas, back to school clothes, prescription medication. After all that, for many families, there's not much left at the end of the month.
Man, we some goofy people, man. We got a goofy country, Johnson. This woman sitting up here reading off this teleprompter, and people nodding along with this, man, just because she could say words off a teleprompter. Jesus Christ, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to start this over. Lord knows, I did not mean to start this over.
Focused on the future. And the other...
Jesus Christ.
As president, I will go after the bad actors.
I'm sorry.
I was a teenager.
Oh, God.
As president, I will bring together labor.
I'm sorry, guys. Where are we at? Right
that
here?
Advance their economic security, stability, and dignity.
Oh, shit.
Together, we will build what I call an opportunity.
Okay, I'm sorry. I got to find out where I left it. Damn it, this thing is ridiculous.
I will focus on cutting needless bureaucracy and unnecessary regulatory.
Okay, one more minute up.
Should be enough to provide you and your family with a good quality of life.
Okay, let's go.
Such as no child should have to grow up in poverty. Such as after years of hard work, you should be able to retire with dignity. And you should be able to join a union if you choose. Building up the middle class will be a defining goal of my presidency, because I strongly believe when the middle class is strong, America is strong. So in the weeks to come, I will address in greater detail my plans to build an opportunity economy. And today, I will focus on one element that's on the minds of many Americans as they pay their bills at the kitchen table or walk the aisles of a grocery store. And that is lowering the cost of living. So every day across our nation, families talk about their plans for the future, their ambitions, their aspirations for themselves, for their children. And they talk about how they're going to be able to actually achieve them financially. Because look, the bills add up. Food, rent, gas, back to school clothes, prescription medication. After all that, for many families, there's not much left at the end of the month.
This is exactly how Michelle Obama would have sounded. This same old lofty talk, this same empty-ass rhetoric, smiling, using voice inflection. Like that means something, man. Get to it.
I grew up in a middle-class household. For most of my childhood, we were renters. My mother saved for well over a decade to buy a home. I was a teenager when that day finally came, and I can remember so well how excited she was. I kind of understood what it meant, but we called her Mommy. Mommy was so excited, it just made us excited that she was so excited. Later in college, I worked at McDonald's to earn spending money. Well, some of the people I worked with were raising families on that paycheck. They worked second or even third jobs to pay rent and buy food. That only gets harder when the cost of living goes up. Okay. When I am elected president, I will make it a top priority to bring down costs and increase economic security for all Americans. Okay. As president, I will take on the high costs that matter most to most Americans, like the cost of food. We all know that prices went up during the pandemic when the supply chains shut down and failed. But our supply chains have now improved, and prices are still too high. A loaf of bread costs 50% more today than it did before the pandemic. Ground beef is up almost 50%. Many of the big food companies are seeing their highest profits in 2 decades. And while many grocery chains pass along these savings, others still aren't. Look, I know most businesses are creating jobs, contributing to our economy, and playing by the rules. But some are not, and that's just not right. And we need to take action when that is the case. As Attorney General in California, I went after companies that illegally increased prices, including wholesalers that inflated the price of prescription medication, and companies that conspired with competitors to keep prices of electronics high. I won more than $1 billion for consumers. So believe me, as president, I will go after the bad actors.
What does that mean? You won $1 billion for consumers. What's that mean? That means you fined those companies and took some money into the government? Or do you mean you took money from those bad companies and then sent it to the people? So we got people clapping and I don't know what they're clapping about. Like if I'm a person in California and you went after XYZ Corporation and I ain't get no money, you did, how'd that help me? What would I clap for that for? I mean, great. I mean, they got what's coming to them. But why is that a reason for us to clap? So I would need more, be specific. See, this flyer we talk, this in the cloud stuff, man, Johnson, I would cut this off if it wasn't for y'all sitting here. I swear to God I would. But I made a commitment to listen to the whole thing. You got to know what you disagree with. It's only fair, right? All right. I haven't called her a single name. Some very sensitive people, very sensitive progressives have been floating around my channel. I didn't call her any names. I haven't degraded her. I disagree with her. I'm allowed to do that still. It's not against the law yet.
And I will work to pass the first ever federal ban on price gauging on food. My plan will include new penalties for opportunistic companies that exploit crises and break the rules.
Okay, now we at something. At least that's something we can argue. Goodness gracious, Will, how far are we in before you got to anything specific that you say you're going to do? Okay. Price gouging. I know we've been talking about it. People have been saying that they believe that companies are raising prices just because they can. Just because they were able to blame it on supply chain issues. And then 2-3 years later, they still got supply chain issues. You need a new supply chain. If your chain broke, how you been running? You ever rode a bike without a chain? Impossible. All bicycles need a chain. So I get it. Price gouging. We heard it. We heard this. We heard it. But according to my investigation on this, guys, I'm not so sure it's that easy to do. That's why no one's ever done it. Okay, guys, in order to gauge for price gauging, in order to do it, you first got to determine what is a fair amount of profit for a company to make. So you got to first set a standard, and it's going to differ per industry. It's going to differ per product. You know, grocery stores, by and large, who's gouging who? Is it the processing plant? Is it the shipment people? Is it the people putting it on the shelves? Is it who? Where is the increase, particularly in the pricing of food? Is it at the place where is it at the farm? Is it in the slaughterhouse? Like where is the increase going? See, I got a feeling it's spread out all across. If you pay a little bit more at the slaughterhouse or whatever, or at the farmer, right? Because I got a lot of vegetarians who probably stomachs were turning when I even said slaughter. But I mean, whatever type of food, if it's vegetable, whatever it is, right? If it's a bunch of junk food or whatever, box food, processed items, like it all depends on where the increase, the unnatural, not unnatural, because all of it's unnatural, right? So look, based on what I've been looking at, one of the things they'll do is economists assess that the economic plan, fighting inflation, recalibrating the housing market, cutting taxes for family, that's all good and everything. But they will just pass that on to us. And if you gouge too much, if you cut them too much, and if you put too much of a restriction on how much they can charge for an item, they'll just stop selling the item. If you say, oh, you can't sell Snickers bars with a more than a 5% markup, they'd be like, well, no, guess what, guys? No more Snickers. Get it, guys, because it's got to be per item. It can't be like, nothing you sell in this store, because different items have different markups. Different items have different amounts of profit built into the item. There is not just one fell swoop of, you can't do this. I mean, because everything from toilet tissue to batteries, like how much does it cost to put a battery on the shelf as opposed to a perishable item like milk or eggs? totally different supply chain, totally different. You understand what I'm saying? I don't want to bore you, but what I'm saying is when you start really considering what she's being very broad strokes, right? She's just talking. But when you start to really sit down and think about it, every item has a different price. Every item has a different journey to your door, to your shelf, right? How the hell are you going to try to gauge that? How are you going to tell what's gouging, what's not? And how are you going to set the precedent for what it is? And different depending on where you live. This is why no one's done it. Because, folks, food costs different prices, different places. Whole Foods is more expensive than your local A&P or your Piggly Wiggly. And if you live on the West Coast or the East Coast, it may be different than if you live in Middle America, the Midwest, or if you live down South. Are you following me? How in the hell, what kind of bureaucracy would you have to put in place to do what she's suggesting we do? I hear it sounds good. Like, okay, we want to stop them from overcharging. That's all the basic person is going to hear and go, good. But don't walk away yet. Because it ain't that simple. They ain't telling you something. Right? They're leaving out everything that goes along with it. So let's keep going.
And we will support smaller food businesses that are trying to play by the rules and get ahead. We will help the food industry become more competitive because I believe competition is the lifeblood of our economy. More competition means lower prices for you and your families. Now compare what Donald Trump plans to do. He wants to impose what is, in effect, a national sales tax on everyday products and basic necessities that we import from other countries. That will devastate Americans. It will mean higher prices on just about every one of your daily needs.
It's the exact same thing that you're suggesting to do, but he wants to charge people outside the country. You want to charge companies within the U.S. He wants to punish those people importing into the United States or exporting into the United States. That's the only difference. It's still just as bad an idea as yours. I'm thinking, because there's not a lot of Americans working overseas at these companies. So you are talking about basically, how is it different? You're going to have a tariff. You're going to reduce the amount of profit a company can make here in the U.S. where we work at. You know they're going to do something. They're going to punish workers. They're going to cut employee wages or something. Like, how are they going to offset that? They ain't going to just eat the cost. They're not going to just eat the cost, Johnson. Would you eat the cost? Well, I guess we made this amount of profit last year. Guess we'll make less profit this year. Oh, hell no, we won't. Because the whole system works on them making more money every quarter. Why am I up here doing a better job than I bet CNN did? Or MSN. I know I'm doing a better job than MSNBC. I know that. They just let this shit play and then said, wow, she did a good job. Isn't she something? Look at her smile. I feel so much better. What a happy warrior. She's smiling. I feel better. I'm inspired. Because they ain't got to worry about the cost of goods and services and food.
A Trump tax on gas. A Trump tax on food, a Trump tax on clothing, a Trump tax on over-the-counter medication. And you know, economists have done the math. Donald Trump's plan would cost a typical family $3,900 a year. At this moment, when everyday prices are too high, he will make them even higher. As president, I'll take on the issue of the cost of health care. As Attorney General, I took on insurance companies and Big Pharma and got them to lower their prices. And together with President Biden, we've gone even further. We capped the price of insulin at $35 a month, and the—
Hey man, I got a question. How many different people going to take credit for this insulin thing that didn't have shit to do with it? I'm just wondering. I heard everybody from Representative Jasmine Crockett to Joe Biden to Kamala Harris all taking credit for something Trump did on his way out the door. Why doesn't everybody want to take credit for this? Trump signed 4 executive orders before he left office in 2020. 4. One of them was the $35 cap on insulin for seniors. He signed it as an executive order. Before it went into effect, after he left office, it was supposed to go into effect. Joe Biden, because he had the right to do this, him and his chief of staff, Ron Klain, they put a halt on all the executive orders. Then they took his plan and rolled it into their plan 4 months later. There were 4 executive orders. One was for insulin. The other one was for negotiating prices, right? Be able to get prices from other places like Canada and Australia, Sweden, okay, which would lower the cost of pharmaceuticals. There were 4 executive orders, all pertaining to health costs in pharmaceuticals. You weren't even in office when he wrote that up. Similarly to this whole thing about tax on tips, tip tax, same thing. All right, so it's like, I'm just, damn it, Johnson, this is just pathetic. It just is. I want to be optimistic, but I'm not going to be no fool trying to be optimistic. I did that before. It doesn't work. It's still fun. Right? Being optimistic to a fault is goofy. People want the Band-Aid off. They don't want to be lied to. I don't think they do. You don't want to be lied to, do you, Johnson? You don't want that, right? You want the truth, right? We got to know what we're working with. So anyway, what you going to do about healthcare that you haven't already done? Don't tell me about that shit you already done. And for the record, guys, you do realize other people need insulin besides seniors. Like, there are a lot of people who are pre-diabetic or diabetic. There are a lot of people suffering from diabetes. Everyone over 65 aren't the only people that need the insulin.
Total cost and the total cost of prescription drugs at $2,000 a year for seniors. We let Medicare negotiate lower drug prices for seniors. And just yesterday, we announced that we are lowering the price by up to 80% for 10 more life-saving drugs.
Man, Johnson, this needs to be done for all pharmaceuticals across the board, okay? We pay more than any other country in the Western world for our pharmaceuticals. Not just 10 of them, all of them, okay? That's where you could definitely cut the cost of price gouging. Right there. But not with 10 of them, Kamala. With all of them. We're not going to pay it. How about we're not going to pay a penny over what Canada pays? How about we're not going to pay those companies a penny over what Australia pays, or a penny over what Germany pays, or a penny over what the UK pays? How about that for everything, no matter what it is, from Lipitor to Zoloft, to Xanax, to antihistamines? I don't give a damn what it is. That stuff for asthma, whatever it is. See, this is one of my major beefs with the Democratic Party. Let me look, guys. Anything that they're gonna do for us, because see, I already know how this goes. This is why Tim Black is so pissed off with the Democrats. They never go as far as they could go on anything. They count on the Republicans not going anywhere, and then they go 1 foot and they go, look what I did for you. Isn't this great? Don't you like it here? You're like, only move 1 foot. Yeah, I know, but you could be back there. Remember, you were just back there. I know, I see it. I was right there. Yeah, but look what we did for you. You moved right here. Give us your vote and shut up. That's the Democratic Party. And we got people that say that they are progressive. And by the way, guys, a lot of these content creators are making millions of dollars a year. They're not living the life that you're living. I'm still living the life that you're living. Okay? If I was to live in the life that you are living, maybe I would be singing a different tune. Maybe then I could just be focused on how homesy and folksy certain people are, how they have a great smile. But see, I'm actually living the same life that you live. I'm actually living check to check. Okay? I'm actually matters. I don't have a $2 million home somewhere. Okay? I don't have 5 cars. Like I don't take pictures chilling it up in Italy. Okay? Okay? So I'm living the life that you're living. Maybe that's why I'm such a I'm such a hard ass on this stuff. Let's keep going. But Jesus Christ, man, I'm not gonna let you be dumbed down on my watch. You're gonna have to go watch another channel if you wanted me to solve shit. I cannot allow it here. I cannot allow her to just tell us bold-faced lies. I just want to run through the crowd and just slap them all. Just run down the aisle, just pa 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 pa. I just want to slap some sense into everybody in that damn rally. Just run down, just run across and slap them all, Three Stooges style. Pa 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 pa. You know what I'm saying? Damn clapping for what?
And I pledge to continue this progress. I'll lower the cost of insulin and prescription drugs for everyone with your support, not only our seniors.
Okay.
And demand transparency from the middlemen who operate between Big Pharma and the insurance companies who use opaque practices to raise your drug prices and profit off your need for medicine. 2 months ago, I announced that medical debt will no longer be used against your credit score.
Okay. There we go.
And I will work as president with states like here in North Carolina, Roy Cooper, thank you again, to cancel medical debt for more and more, millions more Americans. As for Donald Trump, well, he wants to repeal the Affordable Care Act. Which
You do know there are people that can't afford that shit. They end up paying the fee. They just pay the penalty because they can't afford it. You do know that, Kamala. You have to know that. Folks, please know that the Affordable Care Act did not work out well for everyone, okay? Some people, they saw their rates quadruple, okay? And they end up having to pay the penalty, and they have no insurance. So when people are clapping, there's other people that are crying.
45 million Americans rely on, 45 million Americans rely on it for health care.
Because they had no choice.
That would take us back to a time when insurance companies could deny people with pre-existing conditions. We all remember what.
Guys, the Affordable Care Act is not free, guys. It's not free. If you can't afford it, your ass don't have it. If you don't pay for it, your ass will not have it. Stop making it sound like this shit is free. You got to pay for this. If you cannot pay for it, you are uninsured.
That was. And we're not going back. We're not going back. We're not going back.
And for the record, there are a lot of people who don't pay their medical bills. Because it's always that, right? I don't know. It was an episode of Fred Sanford. Just put the bills back in the mailbox. Okay? You can't get blood from a rock. So, I mean, I care about Medicare for all. I care about health care, and I used to be this huge proponent of Medicare for all. I can't even get these bastards to cut costs in any way. I hear her talking. Let's see what she gets done in this area. But just be real for a second here, guys. Canceling medical debt sounds good. That sounds good. I'm not going to lie. That's an interesting policy. I want to know how you're going to implement that. How you're going to cancel all medical debt. And it doesn't affect credit scores? I got a feeling that people that don't pay for their medical bills probably got bad credit anyway. I'm just thinking. Unless people just came down with an illness. Okay, so there are this stack because medical bills. Here goes one. How about people no longer have to file bankruptcy because they got sick? Now that would be something would get me very interested in you. How about that? Because the number one cause of bankruptcy in America is medical bills. You say you're going to cancel debt for all those people that are filing bankruptcy? Is that what you're saying? I got a feeling that's not what you're saying. But I'm going to look more into it to find out what you're saying. Because you're talking kind of general. I need to specifically hear what you are suggesting that you will get done. Remember, you are suggesting what you will get done. Why don't you try to do it now, Vice President Kamala Harris? You are in office now. Why aren't you working on this now? Then we would see if it had any legs now. You're still vice president. Why are we talking about what we could do when you could just go and do it? Like somebody sitting in front of the oven, sitting in front of a perfectly good oven, in front of a perfectly full pantry going, man, I really wish it was something to eat. I wish we could cook something here. You know what? Next week, I'm going to cook us something up so we won't be hungry. And they're standing right in front of the oven and right in front of the pantry where all the food is. Does that make sense to you? I'm just asking.
And remember, and this is why we're not going back, because we do remember, he tried to cut Medicare every year he was president, threatening a program that tens of millions of seniors count on. And according to his Project 2025 agenda, he intends to undo our work to bring down prescription drugs, the cost of prescription drugs, and insulin costs. Well, we've come too far to let that happen.
Well, thank you. Thank you. That just goes to show you how Project 2025 is not Trump's plan. Why would Trump sign an executive order to cut insulin before your ass took office? Why would he do that and then come up with a Project 2025 plan to do away with the same executive order he just implemented? It don't make sense, do it? I'm just saying, since you said it's his Project 2025 plan, why would he sign 4 executive orders and then come up with a plan to do away with the executive orders he just signed? That don't even make sense, right? But see, when you listen to corporate media, when you got corporate hacks carrying water for Kamala Harris and Joe Biden and the Democratic Party, you get this type of loopy logic. It don't make sense. But people believe it because they hate Trump so much because he's been called Hitler for the past 8 years that you'll believe anything they say about him. If someone said, Trump pushed an old lady down a flight of stairs and then stepped on her back, there were people going, yeah, I can see him doing that. You know, Donald Trump just planted a bomb in a nursing home. Like, yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Because that's how much they demonize this guy. What I'm saying, it don't make any damn sense. I'm not saying people I'm not saying he's got great ideas all the time, because he don't. He sure as hell doesn't. But this is beyond the pale, man. This is beyond the pale. This hurts. Her putting that in the speech means she don't think you know anything. Her people putting that in the speech means they think you don't know a damn thing, Johnson, that you have not read a single piece of literature, that you've done no research at all. I guess Trump isn't the only one who likes an uninformed voter.
So we're not going back on that, and let's talk about the cost of housing. So now, the housing market can be complicated, but look, I'm not new to this issue. As State Attorney General, I drafted and helped pass a homeowner bill of rights, one of the first in America. And during the foreclosure crisis, I took on the big banks for predatory lending with many of my colleagues, including Roy Cooper.
Did you get Steve Mnuchin, One West Bank, the guy that became Secretary of Treasury? Did you get him? Because he was illegally foreclosing on black people's homes in California. Lots of people lost their homes because he illegally foreclosed on them. Did you get him? Because he was right there. Or did you say, oh, no, we changed our mind? It just so happened he gave to your campaign as well. His wife donated to your campaign. I'm just saying. Since you went after these people. And when they asked her, why didn't you go after Steve Mnuchin? She said, well, people in my office made that decision. I wasn't a part of that decision. But it was her office. And it was kind of a big deal because he was kind of, One West Bank is kind of a big bank. And he kind of went on to become the Secretary of Treasury. But yeah, but by all means, go off, Kamala, go off.
And won $20 billion for California families when I was Attorney General.
Did that money go to the families or did it go to the state of California? Did you tax and penalize the banks, and then take the money for California? Or did you pass that on to homeowners so they could buy new homes? These are things I want to know. Why can't you be specific? I don't give a damn if a bank got fined. Obama bailed all the banks out. Who gives it, so I want to understand who benefited from this. Did the average person benefit who lost their home? Or did California benefit? Like when people get speeding tickets, it's like you had out speeding tickets. You had out speeding tickets to someone. That doesn't go to citizens because you caught a bunch of people running red lights. I don't get a check in the mail. We caught a bunch of people that light up the street from us. Look at our cut. Here goes our cut. Here goes your cut. Here goes your cut, Sylvia. Here goes your cut, Edward. Here goes your cut, Daytwan. Now that don't happen, do it. Who gets the money? They get the money. That's what I'm saying. So when you're talking about these things that sound good and we got people clapping, it don't even make sense. What are they clapping about? Have I become like some, what the hell? How am I able to see through this shit? Maybe because you focus on it all day, Tim Black. That would be true. It's kind of my job, right?
So I know how to fight for people who are being exploited in the housing market. And I know what home ownership means.
Oh, God.
It's more than a financial transaction. It's so much more than that. It's more than a house. Home ownership and what that means, it's a symbol of the pride.
Stop trying to overact and just say it. This overacting, who told her this is good? This is not good. It's not. Man, look, anybody that's going to change their vote because Kamala did a very good job delivering her emotionally what it means to have a home. Like, people know what it means to have a home. A lot of bills. You got to fix a lot of shit on your own. These are things that I learned, okay? So having a home, it's nice, but, because you get a parking space, but, you got a lot of upkeep and a lot of other stuff that goes along with it. But all this dramatics, Johnson, all of this, I'm already exhausted listening to and watching her do this all the time. Who told her this makes you more effective? Shit.
That comes with hard work. It's financial security. It represents what you will be able to do for your children.
Nah, man, having cash in the bank. Look, guys, having money represents that. Having wealth represents that. Having assets that you own represent that. Having a house and a big-ass mortgage and a piece of land that you do not own does not necessarily equal stability. Most people, when they pass away, their houses go with them. Okay? That's just how it is, particularly because we don't have the resources. And that's one of the biggest issues, man. Black folks, Black Americans, she ain't talking to you. When this whole entire speech, I'm sorry, Johnson, she ain't talking about you if you're working class. If you're a poor white person, if you're a lower middle class white person, she ain't talking to you. If you're a lower middle class, any type of person, she is not talking to You. She ain't talking about anything that's going to actually put you ahead of the game. Nothing at all.
And sadly, right now, it is out of reach for far too many American families. There's a serious housing shortage. In many places, it's too difficult to build, and it's driving prices up.
That's true.
As president, I will work in partnership with industry to build the housing we need, both to rent and to buy. We will take down barriers and cut red tape, including at the state and local levels.
That sounds good, but what does it mean you're going to cut red tape and knock down barriers? What does that mean? You mean there's people going, I don't want to sell these houses. We don't want to sell houses. We just want to hold on to them. We ain't trying to sell them and get profit off them. We just trying to hold these houses. What does that even mean? You want to cut red tape? She gets to say this stuff, and I'm hearing these goofballs clap for it. She's not explaining what that means. What does it mean you're going to cut red tape? Okay, get to the subsidy.
And by the end of my first term, we will end America's housing shortage by building 3 million new homes and rentals that are affordable for the middle class. And we will do that together. We will do that together. And
that sounds good, Johnson, but what's affordable mean? Listen, guys. For something to be affordable, what's affordable for me may not be affordable for you. What's affordable for you may not be affordable for me. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it all depends on what your income is. It all depends on what your income to debt ratio is, right? It all depends on how much money you have. Unless you are increasing what people's money, what they have, like the resources that they have individually, I don't see how this makes a difference. Even the subsidies she's going to talk about. Folks, back when I was in my early 20s, I had one of my best friends, he sold cars. He's been selling cars for 30 years. When you go into a dealership and you can go get a car with no money down, but guess what? Your car note's bigger, isn't it? Your car note's going to be bigger. The more money you put down, the less your car note is. So even if you get a subsidy and they say, okay, we know what we're going to give you $5,000 off for the sticker price. Guess what, guys? You still got to pay for it. And they come take that sucker from you the same way they would have if you paid sticker price. You understand what I'm saying? This type of speak, if you're not going to change the material condition of the people that you're talking to, she's not talking to you. If you need money, right? If you need money, you're going to need money to pay the note. You ain't going to just need money to get in the door. You're going to need the money and the resources in order to pay for it. And Black people do not have the money and the resources by large, to pay for it. Neither do poor white people. Neither do poor Asian people. Neither do poor Native Americans, and the list goes on. You understand what I'm saying? If your ass is making $10 an hour working at the Piggly Wiggly, working at Amazon, right? Working at Walmart on food stamps, this ain't gonna help you. You're gonna be house poor. If you can get a house, how you gonna pay for it? Is she gonna come pay that note every month? This is what I'm saying. So for Black Americans who are 14% of the population and own 2% of the wealth, she's got nothing. She ain't talking about anything that's gonna change that. There's nothing that's gonna change the bottom line in your income, in your home, in your wealth that's gonna give you in the position to take on these new responsibilities. It's all pie in the sky bullshit. If you don't got a way to pay for it, this is not a pair of jeans. Owning a home is not a pair of shoes that you pay for one time and then you good. Take the hit once, spend $120, and then you own them for life until they fall apart. No. You got to keep paying for them shoes every month. And if not, they come take the damn shoes. Don't let her talk to you like you stupid.
And we will make sure those homes actually go to working and middle-class Americans. not just investors. Because, you know, some corporate landlords, some of them buy dozens, if not hundreds of houses and apartments. Then they turn them around and rent them out at extremely high prices.
Won't you just cut that shit right now? That's the problem. There goes your problem right there. That's why there's no supply. That's why the demand is so high, because they've done that. But see, then all of a sudden you don't live in America anymore, do you? If you do that, where do we live at? We live in a different country. If you do that, you ain't gonna be president. Them people that defend, the people that really run America, I'm gonna see to it that this will be the last speech you give. Well, that'll be the last thing you do as president. Understand what I'm saying, Johnson? You know how many people's money she would be messing with? It sounds good. It sounds good what she's saying. It don't make sense. She's just saying stuff to get elected, Johnson. She's just saying stuff. She's just throwing stuff against the wall. See what you bite on. They listen to us talk online and what we complain about. They got analytics and algorithms and shit. They listen to what we talk about. And then they go back and they meet and they say, well, how can we make it sound like we're going to do that shit? They sit back and they go, oh, we couldn't possibly do this. This is crazy. What do they expect to do? Live on nothing? How are we people supposed to the company's got to make a profit. What do they think this is? Venezuela? What do they think this is? Switzerland? Like, and they do that, and then we know if we word it this way and word it that way, and if you present it this way, and if you smile, talk about, yeah, it's really bad. And I grew up not owning a home. I grew up, we didn't own a home. Yeah, it's because you were renting, and you probably had a nicer house that you were renting than the one that you could own. And you didn't have to pay for none of the problems. Just call the landlord and say, fix this damn toilet. Fix the damn roof. And they had to do it. Anyway, let's keep going, guys. My bad. Let's keep going.
And it can make it impossible then for regular people to be able to buy or even rent a home. Some corporate landlords collude with each other to set artificially high rental prices, often using algorithms in price-fixing software.
So what are you going to do about it? You going to lock their asses up and then auction off those properties? Hey, is that what you're going to do? Are you going to really stick it to those people that are doing it? It ain't rocket science. What you going to do? Are you going to punish those companies and throw their asses in jail? I bet you a horse, a buggy, a yacht, and 3 timeshares, you ain't going to do none of the shit I just said.
To do it. It's anti-competitive and it drives up costs. I will fight for a law that cracks down on these practices.
Cracks down or ends it and put people in jail. Cracks down or ends it and puts people in jail. Or are you just going to say they're going to have to pay a fee? See, everything that she's been talking about has been fee related. They paid a fee. Ow, that hurt. Let's keep doing it, guys. Up the prices. That's what happens. Man, I can't believe people are saying, you got to listen to this, Tim Black. She's really making strides. She's really trying, Tim Black. Give her a break. You got to hear her out. I'm listening, but I'm no fool. I can't pretend that I don't see through it. I just can't do it, Johnson. Just to make certain people feel better. Hey, you know, if you got to unsubscribe and go watch somebody who lied to you, I get it, man. Just do that next time. Don't write me and tell me how important it is for me to cover this. You know what I'm saying? But in reality, you just want me to go along with a lie to make you feel better because some other person did. Some people didn't grow up like us. I can't lie to black people like that. Okay? I gotta live with them. I got family. I got friends. I can't be lying like that. I got a wife. I got a black wife whose face I gotta look at every night. I can't be just making up shit and going along with lies. I got a brother that's worked the drives a bus In D.C., he drives a Metro bus. I can't lie. He watched my show. My mama is 78 years old. She watched my show. I can't sit up here and lie for Kamala Harris to make y'all feel better with your white progressive asses. I can't lie to all those people. I deal with people in the real world who know what it is. I can't sit up here and lie to black people like that. Maybe you can lie. White people, they like lying to y'all. Y'all like lying to each other. I can't lie to black people like that. If I ain't gonna get to 250,000 or 500,000 subscribers, so be it. That's just how it's gonna have to be. Because I ain't gonna be lying like that. This is not the Mark Lamont Hill show. This is not the Rashad Richie show. Stop comparing me to people that lie like that. Y'all ready? Let's keep going.
We also know that as the price of housing has gone up, the size of down payments have gone up as well. Even if aspiring homeowners save for years, it often still is not enough. So in addition, while we work on the housing shortage, my administration will provide first-time home buyers with $25,000 to help with the down payment on a new home. We can do this. We can do this. All to help more Americans experience the pride of home ownership.
Once you get the house, how you gonna pay for it? Once you get the house, how you gonna pay for it? You know, I just gotta say it, Johnson. If you got people that are struggling, this ain't gonna solve it. This ain't gonna solve the problem, Johnson. I'm almost emotionally drained. I'm so pissed off. And people stood up for that. They stood up. You know, if you could stand up about all we needed was a down payment. If you could stand up for that, you good. You don't really have a problem. You understand what I'm saying? If you could stand up and say, oh, they got the down payment for me, I ain't got to worry about that, cool. That means you doing okay. You ain't struggling. Because if you can pay $1,500, $2,500, $3,500 for a house, whatever, depending on the market that you're in, but I mean 15, 25, 35, 4,500. If you could pay that every month, you'll be good. And with all your other expenses, you probably are that person in trouble. You understand what I'm saying? But coming from the lineage of people that only own 2% of the wealth in this country, the average black family has about what was it? What was the number, Sam? For every dollar a white family has, we got like a dime. Average white family, I think it's 130,000. We're at what? Less than $1,000, some crazy shit. Less. What are we talking about here? In savings. Not savings, in net worth. She ain't saying nothing, man. She ain't saying nothing about doing anything about that. She talking to everybody. Everybody not at the same spot. Everyone is not at the same spot, ladies and gentlemen. She's talking about giving everybody $25,000 to buy their first home. Everybody. Everybody ain't paid into this economy. I hate to bring that up. Everybody has been disenfranchised by the U.S. government, and everybody doesn't come from a family that was intentionally disenfranchised by the U.S. government. By policies on the books. Not every family. Not everybody. But I guess we don't care, do we? No, we just want to clap for Kamala. I got a question, guys. I'm going to go back. I'm going to play this, and I got a question. Why people keep saying Kamala black if she ain't doing nothing for black people? She didn't even say the word black this whole time. Why all the people that support her that have been in my mentions in my timeline on X and on Facebook and on Twitter, and on Instagram, why on TikTok, why all these people keep talking about Kamala's black when she ain't doing nothing? She ain't even mentioned the word black this whole time. There was a guy with a black tie. She wouldn't even say what color his tie was. It's like, I see you have on a dark tie. She wouldn't even say the word black to describe this guy's tie. How would you like your coffee? Not brown, thank you. She wouldn't even say she want black coffee. You understand what I'm saying? But all I've been hearing from all her supporters is how she black, and I got to support her because she black. She ain't say nothing about black people this entire time she been talking. So what good is it? What does it mean? You just want to leverage my blackness to make me give her a vote she ain't earned. Y'all see what I'm saying? Y'all get where I'm coming from? Hell, man, even the white folks get that. Symbolism will be the death of you, and the death of you, not the death of me.
And the financial security that it represents and brings. So that's my plan. But here's what Donald Trump would do. If his Project 2025 agenda is put into effect, it will add around $1,200 a year to the typical American mortgage. He's got it backward. We should be doing everything we can to make it more affordable to buy a home, not less.
She's not telling me anything specific, so I can't rebut it. But I can tell you this, under Joe Biden and under Kamala Harris, the average family pays a lot more, and we have less wealth. And that's just how it is. I mean, I have read those reports. I have not read the 902 pages of the 2025 plan created by the Heritage Foundation and those subsidiaries.
Finally, there's one more way I will help families deal with rising costs, and that's by letting you keep more of your hard-earned money. Under my plan, more than 100 million Americans will get a tax cut, and we will do this by restoring 2 tax cuts designed to help middle-class and working Americans. The Earned Income Tax Credit.
Oh, you mean that same thing that J.D. Vance was talking about that y'all said was garbage? Because he said he wanted to cut, what was it? Was it $5,000 earned income tax credit? That's what he wanted, $5,000. And people wrote a bunch of horrible headlines saying it was horrible, it was stupid. We ought to give $2,000 worth of earned income tax credit. What's yours?
And the child tax credit. Through which millions of Americans with children got to keep more of their hard.
That's what it was. It was the child tax credit, not the earned income tax credit. It's a child tax credit. So he said he wanted $5,000 to be it. He said this a couple weeks ago. I covered it. ABC took a dump on him, called him a crazy lunatic. I saw the MSNBC coverage. I saw everyone shitting on him because they don't like him, and I understand why. He said some stupid stuff before. Why degrade a whole bunch of people calling them cat ladies? A lot of people got cats. But anyway, that's probably, he wouldn't know he was going to run for president 3 years ago when he said it. Anyway, the point is, his policy is the same policy that you're talking about right now, right? Personalities aside, what's the difference between his $5,000 tax credit and the one you're about to announce?
Earned income. We know this works and has a direct impact on so many issues, including child poverty.
Yeah, keep going.
We know it works. So as president, I'll not only restore that tax cut, but expand it. We will provide $6,000 in tax relief to...
See, that's how I know I was right. He said 5,000, she goes 6. Okay, you get it now? This is how the market works. This is why competition matters. Because somebody has to, she only went 6 because he said 5. You understand what I'm saying? That's how this shit works. If you don't push politicians, they won't do shit. What'd I tell you about it? Why not make it 10? Why not? Because what did I tell you? Whatever the Republicans do, they do a little step further and go, look what we did for you. Remember, this is a proposal. It's going to end up around somewhere around 3, no matter who gets in. Understand what I'm saying? This is pie in the sky right now. We're just talking. We're just talking. I give you the whole East Side. You have all the East Side. Then when it's time to really do the deal, well, we're going to have to make that a quarter of the East Side. But look, it's free and clear. Do what you want. Understand what I'm saying? Yeah, I've been doing this for a while, Johnson.
Families during the first year of a child's life. Now think what that means. Think what that means. That is a vital, vital year of critical development of a child. And the cost can really add up, especially for young parents who need to buy diapers and clothes and a car seat and so much else. And we will do this while reducing the deficit. Compare my plan with what Donald Trump intends to do. He plans to give billionaires massive tax cuts year after year. And he plans to cut corporate taxes by over $1 trillion, even as they pull in record profits. And that's on top of the $2 trillion tax cut he already signed into law when he was president, which, by the way, overwhelmingly went to the wealthiest Americans in corporate.
What about the $5,000? You want 6, he want 5. What's the, I don't understand. Why are you talking about everything except the identical policy that you just said you're going to implement? And you're announcing it after him. Why are you bringing up other shit? Why aren't you bringing up the identical policy? Because you can't be honest, right? Of course not.
Corporations, and exploded the national deficit. You know, I think that if you want to know who someone cares about, look who they fight for.
This is her fighting for you, Johnson. This is her fighting for you. That's what this is. If this is what you call fighting for us, please don't fight for us no more. Please don't. Please don't fight for us.
Look who they fight for. Donald Trump fights for billionaires and large corporations. I will fight to give money.
Man, both of these parties fight for corporations. Both of these parties are owned by corporate. Anybody who takes any time at all takes a look at the Democratic and Republican Party would know they're both sold out to corporations. Okay, from our elections to our lobbyists to our special interest groups. Okay, so that right there should not even be an attack line that anybody Democratic that points over the other side and starts talking about corporations. This woman took $5 million, $6 million from a private organization, APAC. Anybody that points over at the Republicans who's a Democrat and says shit like that, they do not respect your intelligence. They think you're an idiot. Okay? Because cash rules everything around me. It ain't just a Wu-Tang song. Both parties play that same game, okay? Both parties take a whole lot of corporate money. Shit, Joe Biden was one of him and Clyburn, biggest recipients of pharmaceutical money. For years. I don't know if you know this, but pharmaceutical companies are corporations. What is she talking about? That's why we couldn't get anything done on healthcare. They were funding Joe Biden. This is crazy. It's insane. They really count on you not having any type of news that tells you anything, that informs you about anything, Johnson. They count on it. This is why the system works. This is why Rachel Maddow. You know what, guys? Rachel Maddow, Joy Reid, all of these mainstream media people, they don't get paid to do the news. They get paid not to do the news. They don't get paid to lie to you. They get paid not to tell you the truth. That's what they make the money for. That's what Chris Hayes gets paid for. That's what the money's really for. That's what The View really gets paid to do. Not to have a show that talks about poverty every day. Not to have a show that talks about bankruptcy every day. Not to have a show that talks about who dumped all those methamphetamines and all that shit into the opiates, who dumped those opiates into those small towns. See, that's the show that The View could do every day. But instead, they have some politician waltz their punk ass out on stage and pretend everything's good and point over at the other side. Okay? That's what they get paid for. That's what the millions of dollars is for. It's for their souls. It's for their souls.
Money back to working and middle-class Americans. So I'll end with this. 2 days ago, Donald Trump was here in North Carolina. He said he was going to talk about the economy. I think you all.
I don't know, man. Did somebody tell how? I want to say this as nicely as possible. And don't get me wrong. I love women. I think women are beautiful. I think women are beautiful, and I admire women. But you know what? You're going to have to do more than smile and bat your eyelashes. I don't know. I am not Willie Brown. I want policy. I don't want you flirting. I don't want you acting sweet and cute and none of that shit. None of that's got nothing to do with what's happening with real working people out here. We got women. I got a woman. I got a wife. I don't care. This right here, this ain't working. All this garbage, this is nonsense. That ain't gonna work this time. That's not gonna work this time. Y'all should be insulted by this nonsense.
I'll watch. You know what I'm about to say. But he offered no serious plans to reduce costs for middle-class families. No plan to expand access to housing or health care. And that actually...
That's what this is, a serious plan. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. That's a plan? What you just gave us, that's a serious plan? No, I don't think we'll cover Donald Trump tomorrow, but I don't consider what she just gave us to be a serious plan. Broad strokes on a skeleton of some ideas at best.
Actually, I think for most of us was not surprising. Because we already know his plans. We know the Project 2025 agenda. So there's a choice in this election.
Yeah, that's a choice.
Donald Trump's plans to devastate the middle class, punish working people, and make the cost of...
Why would listen, guys, it's just stupid. Why would anyone want to be president to devastate the middle class? Is there any level? I know people are still upset. They believe a lot of the nonsense that is said about Donald Trump. I know that. It took me getting detoxed. I had to get my brain washed. Well, that sounds bad. I had to have my brain sanitized from all the nonsense that I'd heard over the years to be able to look at him somewhat unbiased. I still got a little bit of bias, but look, I got more bias towards the Democrats. Well, my point is this. Are you at a point, real talk, as a voter, because we all only got one vote to spend. Is it possible, does it make sense that we would have a president that actually wanted to devastate the middle class? Like that was a goal? Does that even make sense? Does that ring true? Like, I mean, even a drug dealer doesn't want the hood to burn down. You know what I'm saying? How's it gonna operate? They just say the most demonizing shit and people just go along with it. It don't even make sense. You understand what I'm saying? It don't even make sense. If you're a loan shark, you want to break the guy's arm to get your money, you kill him, you can't get no money. He'll never pay you now. Like they say the most dumbest asinine nonsense. It don't make sense at all. So, like, I hope she's done, because I'm damn sure done. But I don't want to shortchange. I want to get all the way to the last second and not be able to say I watched the whole thing. Or that we watched the whole thing together. So let's hear what she's almost done, guys. Let her finish up.
Living go up for millions of Americans. And on the other hand, when I'm elected president, what we will do to bring
all these people clapping if she's elected president don't care what she'll do. They just want her to be president, which defeats the whole purpose of having a president. It defeats the whole purpose of having the first female president. If you don't care what she does when she's in there, it defeats the whole purpose of having the first Black or Asian or Indian woman in there. However you want to look at it. Tired of that conversation. Jesus Christ. It is what it is. Let people think what they want to think. At the end of the day, if you're not doing anything to help Black people, you're doing something to hurt them. If you ain't closing the racial wealth gap, you are widening the racial wealth gap. If you are not trying to make life more affordable for working class people, you're making it less affordable. Okay? Period.
Down costs, increase the security and stability financially of your family, and expand opportunity for working and middle class Americans. So now is the time to chart a new way forward. Now is the time to chart a new way forward, to build.
It's a new day.
A new way forward.
You know, there's a sign. There must be signs of something all over the wall on there. Something on some Vopatron or whatever, the Tron thing, whatever, that says new way forward on it. Because how would they say that? Come on, man. They got crowd handlers. New way forward. New way forward.
Yes, a new way forward. To build an America where everyone's work is rewarded and talents are valued, where we work with labor and business to strengthen the American economy, and where everyone has the opportunity not just to get by, but to get ahead. So I thank you, North Carolina. We're going to get this done. And with your help, God bless you, and God bless the United States of America. God bless you.
Woo! Hey, man, give it up for yourselves, Johnson. Yes. Right there. Yeah, man, you sat through that entire thing. I got to give it up to the people that were able to do that. Thank you for tuning into this presentation. I think I did a decent job of unpacking it. I'm sure there's a couple points that could be more illuminated, but, I don't want to make this show be 3 hours. Lord knows I don't. But at the end of the day, folks, it sounds like a bunch of talk. Don't get me wrong, there are a couple of things there that make sense, but how are you going to implement it and what's it going to do? And who is it focused on? Okay? I'm one of those people that believe that it's going to take determined action, specific action. If you want to tell me what you're going to do, tell me specifically how you're going to do it, and tell me what the penalties are and how we're going to benefit from the penalties that you put in place. Tell me how, and also tell me how you're going to get this done. Executive order? Are you going through Congress? You ain't a magician. How are you going to do any of this stuff? How are you going to implement this stuff? Right? And when you start talking about subsidies and everybody get $25,000, how many houses you building again? How long is it going to take you to build 3 million houses? 3 million houses? When? When are you going to build 3 million houses? I remember the Clintons said they were building houses in Haiti. Haiti's still waiting on them damn houses. How are you going to build 3 million houses? Did she say something like that? I could have sworn the number was 3 million. This is crazy. 3 million homes, that are affordable for middle class. That sounds like apartments. That don't sound like homes. That sounds like an apartment. That sounds like a boarding house. Where you gonna build 3 million homes? Folks, if you're gonna give everything to the migrants, just say that. It sounds like this. It sounds like he was. That's what it sounds like. It is what it is. Folks, I don't trust it. I don't trust her. I don't trust it. But I'm willing to see what the plan is in writing. There's still more to come. This is just her talking. I want to see it tomorrow. Be back tomorrow. Let's see if we can try to go at the same time. Come back tomorrow and we'll do Donald Trump. His will be probably more entertaining. And we will call him out on his nonsense too, if there's nonsense to call out. Lowering the cost of living. By doing what exactly? By cutting the price of toothpaste? What's the adequate amount of profit in a tube of toothpaste? Do you understand where I'm going here, guys? It just sounds like something to say because you've been tracking, because we got these devices listening to everything we say. So these devices are listening to what we say. They go, well, you know what, guys? It looks like everyone's talking about price gouging. We need to use that. That's the word they want to hear. Let's say price gouging. We're going to end price gouging. See, man, you're going to go to Texas and go to the little whorehouse in Texas and make sure, you go to every happy ending massage parlor and make sure the cost of a happy ending is cheaper. What are we doing exactly? How are you lowering the cost? You're going to go to every mani and manicure and pedicure shop, every nail salon, and make sure, what are we talking about? That's right, you said food. You're going to go to every deli and make sure the turkey ain't overpriced? What are we talking about? We ain't talking about nothing. Once again, they listen to hear what we are talking about, and then they build on top of it. They put scaffolding around our topics and build out a narrative to make it seem like they're addressing the thing they hear us talking about. But in actuality, it doesn't address it at all. If it ain't putting no money in your pocket, Johnson, your life ain't gonna change. You gotta make more money. More money has to go in your pocket for you to have a better cost of living or have a higher quality of living. There ain't no way around it. There's no way around it, okay? And if you say they can't have profit, they stop selling it. I'm not gonna sell something I can't make no money off of. That's dumb. Who's gonna sell something if you're gonna limit the profit on it? You gotta change our entire system. That's what I'm saying. You gotta change the entire system. All right, guys, that's it. We went through enough stuff. My name is Tim Black. If you enjoyed this content, you thought it was useful, informative, gave you something to think about, maybe it didn't change your mind, but it gave you something to think about, that's enough. Because when you watch MSNBC or CNN, they ain't give you nothing to think about. They're telling you everything is cool. Old school, new school, lying. So become a member of the Tim Black Wolf Pack. Go to Tim Black on go to Tim Sake Live on Patreon or go to timblacktv.com for my website. And and if anything, look, hit like on this thing and share it with somebody. I'm committed to telling you the truth, whether it's good news or bad news. We have to operate in reality. That's the first step. We cannot all be on different time. We can't all we can't all listen to different crazy news that's keeping the truth from us and then be on a one accord. We have to be on the same sheet of music. So that's where we got to start. All right. We good, fam. I want to go to my comment section, man. Thank you for hanging in the comment section. Woo! Devad Retless became a member of the Tim Black Wolf Pack. Thank you, Devad. Del Monte Green Beans. Shoot, I call her Captain Pinto Bean. Okay. Is she impersonating somebody, dog? I don't know, man. She doing something. Sound like she's trying to do an Obama. But we already fell for that once. I know we got new people. We got new young people to be optimistic without having any evidence. But that should be the only people that fall for this. The only people that fall for this rhetoric should be young people who are uninformed. If you are over 30 years old and you're falling for this, you need your damn head examined. I don't care what D.L. Hughley said. I don't care what Picard Sellers said. I don't care what Angela Rye said. I don't care what Charlamagne the God says. I don't care what Rachel Maddow says. I don't care what Joy Reid says. If you are over 30 years old and you're falling for pie in the sky nonsense with no meat on the bone, no substance, I don't care what Bernie Sanders says either. Okay? All right? I don't care what they say. If it don't add up, it don't add up. That's it. Common sense must prevail. Let me go on this algorithm telling them she did a great job. Then she ain't got no reason to change it if she did a great job. This is not a great job. This is not a great job. This is a snow job. All right. I'm Tim Black once again. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Remember, don't let nobody take your cornbread. All right. I'm going to go back to my comments before I leave, man. There's some crazy comments in this joint. People were not holding back, man. Black Rock owns Kamala. What's up, D? Casey McCoy. It's up on the website yet, her policies. I don't know, Casey. You're right, I don't know. Good discussion. Thank you, Jibba Jabba. Derek Fuller's in the house. Derek, what's up, fam? Good to see you back, man. Angie B, I caught you earlier in housing. Lillian says, you ain't gonna fool me twice, Obama. There it is. That's also a thing, right? Buck Bewley, this is our day off, Timmy. I know, fam. I had to do it, though. I had to do it, Buck. It's like I felt like I knew I wasn't gonna have the endurance to do 2 press conferences in the same day. So I had to break it up. And I'm like, well, you know what? We'll do Kamala first. We'll do Trump on Sunday. How about that? Cheers. A man called David. What's up, David? A bunch of hot air, says Benjamin Henderson. Obama la la, Obama la la. Teach the low IQ voters in their feelings. Just voted for identity politics. Stop that dumb stuff. Black Space said it. That is an awesome comment, bro. JD Informant came through. Thank you, Jay. What's up, fam? Yes. McCarthy Lusant. I'm not voting unless it's related to UFO disclosure. I heard that. You want to know what's going on, huh? Buck Benner says, you know how hard it is to eat a Jersey Mike sub and moderate? Brother, the sub comes first. That's an easy choice. Man. Yo, man, I had a good time with y'all, man. I appreciate y'all. Amy Ballard, thank you. Look into the 33 tie-breaking votes you did. Oh, Amy, that's what's up. That's what's up, Amy. Wow. Y'all gonna come back tomorrow? And then we got a show tomorrow night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Look, man, they cannot outwork me. They cannot outwork me, y'all. I'm putting the work in. You fight for people, just not black people. That's what I'm saying. I know, Johnson. But I don't think she fights for them either, though. She doesn't. She fights for us the least. I'm gone, man. Let me go. Let me go, Tim Black. All right, guys. I'll see ya. Here goes my babies, and then I'll see y'all on the next one.